The old books off the shelves from the attic or out of storage. Books are the base for a fun home decor trend, taking over everything from florals to shelving.
And Christine McKay, she's got a bunch of book projects to inspire us all. I want to let you know, you sent some photos over. You could tell as people were opening the photos in the email, like, oh, these are adorable. Oh, like one by one is everyone's desk. These are just really brilliant ideas.
Exciting.
Oh,
yeah.
That makes me so happy because this was one of the funnest segments I've prepared for. I had such a good time. Now, I will do a little disclaimer and a warning. If you are a book connoisseur, turn away. Turn away right now. Because we're going to be ripping pages and doing all sorts of fun stuff. So.
Okay, should we jump into it here?
Yes. Okay, should we start with my very favorite one that we did? Okay. This wreath over here on this wall is by far my very favorite.
It is spectacular.
You know, several years ago I saw something similar to this at a high-end boutique, and so I started doing some research and come to find out it's made an appearance, it's popped up on a few blogs that other women have caught on. So I decided to try my hand at it. Basically, all it is a styrofoam wreath that you simply push little squares of book into. And if you want, I can show you really quickly how to do that. This right here, I used the same technique on. This is a topiary tree that I just used with styrofoam balls. And so I'll just kind of show you on this example how you do the technique.
So you've ripped out the pages.
You rip out the page, and then the important part is you want to cut around all the margins so that the print goes all the way to the edges.
You want it full of the black and white.
You want it full of the black and white. And then next you'll take a pencil. Or a pen. Let me ask you this. Do you guys remember back in grade school, did you ever do with the crepe paper?
Oh, totally.
And you take the pencil, and you take the crepe paper, and you wrap it around the end of your pencil.
Glue. You make the mosaic picture?
Yeah, we did another one. Exactly. It's the same technique. So you'll just wrap it around the end of the utensil, and then you'll go ahead and want to stick it in some glue. Because the viewers probably can't see this, but Brooke, you can. The back where a few of the little newspapers fell out. It's because I didn't dip it in glue. So you'll want to use
just glue holding this?
In the styrofoam. Yep, it's poking it into the styrofoam. But on this one, I didn't use glue, so definitely I would recommend using a styrofoam glue to hold it in there, because you can kind of see on this one that they started falling out if you don't. So what you'll do is you take it, and then you just insert it into the styrofoam, like that. And so just the tip is coming out on the very end. So, and then you just work your way all the way around until you're done. Now, I'm not ashamed. I'll tell you when I have a craft. I'll tell you when I have a craft fail. I'll be honest. This one, I love it. It's favorite. I'm gonna have to redo it because it was a craft fail, and I'll tell you why. Because I thought I would be really smart and just do 2 separate styrofoam balls and put it onto a wooden dowel. Totally fell apart doing it. Then I discovered you can purchase these at the craft store for about $9. Use your 50% off coupon, $5. Much easier. So I'm gonna redo this one because I love it. I think it looks just really classy in the right room.
So you did the same thing on a larger scale for the wreath?
Yes, so the wreath is the exact same technique that you go around and you just punch it through the styrofoam wreath. I tied a ribbon on, put it onto the wall, and you've got a classy look.
What size were your squares of, I don't want to say pages?
You know what? For this one, I used the full page. So it was more of a rectangle shape. Once I just cut the margins off and just put it on, so about a full. For the smaller projects, they're about a 1-inch piece.
This looks a little tighter, and that's why it's a smaller square. That's a bigger, looser, fluffier kind of look.
This one doesn't.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, moving along. Another thing that you can do with books is you can actually create a bookshelf or a shelf out of the books. I just hung some metal brackets, and then you just put books sideways on it to support whatever decor that you want to show. And I thought that was kind of fun to display some of your favorite books. Then next, the little pictures that I have right here is books are a great background. What's really hot right now is silhouettes and black and whites. And it makes such a great background for those pictures. So I just took a page out of a book, and then I printed on a silhouette of my daughter on that. And then the top one, I just downloaded some artwork. But if you were an artist, think how cool that would be to do some of your own artwork. So that I think just completes a really nice, classy look that could go in just any room.
A librarian would love that.
Yeah.
As long as she's okay with ripping out books.
Minus the page destruction. That's really cute.
Okay, this next one is really fun. This is a vase. It's a functional flower vase made out of a book. And yes, it's totally functional. I have a little silk flower in there right now because I wasn't sure how well it would travel. But what you do is on my website...
Are you saying you can actually put water in there if you make it right?
Yes, you can.
Get out.
Yes, you can. You can go on my website, kmckaydesigns.com, and download this template. And then what you'll do once you have the template is you take any book that you have. Let's see. There, oh, here we go. I was going to say I thought my son took it off the table. You trace it onto the book like this with like a Sharpie or something, and then you take an X-Acto knife and you just cut around the lines, and then once the lines are cut all the way around, you just fold it, you just fan it out. So like this. So do you want to know how the water part works?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go to your florist and you can get a test tube that's really skinny and really long. You'll put the test tube along the spine before you wrap it around.
They're like the tubes like for individual flowers?
Yeah, for individual flowers. So, to be careful, you'll want to just use like a dropper to put water in it, and probably just like one flower at a time. Or you can just display a silk flower, and it just looks really fun and kind of whimsical. So I really love that idea. The next thing that we can do is, Brooke, I thought that you would like this one. I loved it.
Is that a handbag?
It is a little handbag.
Oh, my word.
For this one, I actually did go to the antique store because I wanted to get a really cool book that had a nice cover. So I went and bought just a book. You remove the inside, and let me just say, really simple, and you can go on my website, and there's a step-by-step tutorial that tells you how to measure. But pretty much the only measuring you have to do is you just measure a triangle piece for the edge like this. And if you sew, you can sew. If you don't, you can craft glue it, which is what I did. But honestly, I think sewing would be really simple and it'd give it a little more finished look.
The inside, did you line this with fabric on the inside?
I just lined it, yeah. After I put the side on, then I just put the lining fabric, and it just covered all of the frayed edges.
Once again, craft glue, your friend there, right?
Once again, yep, craft glue. And then you can purchase the handles, pre-made purse handles at any craft store, and you've got your own fun little bag. And I thought, how fun for girls, like a little twilight purse, or just, I mean, you could just do all sorts of fun things with that.
That's really cute.
So I love that one. That one's a fave. Okay. The next one right here at the front is this little Valentine's banner, and I did one similar a couple weeks ago with burlap, but traditionally it is done with like paper, and so what I did is I splurged a little, and this one somebody really is going to have a heart attack. I hope there are any collectors that are looking for this. I found this, and it must be really important because it was $20, but for me it made great paper.
You didn't care.
And if my husband asks, it was $2.
Yes.
Wait, are you serious? Is this the Cyclone? The Cyclone of the song? Is that what that book is?
Get out of here.
Did you destroy that? I've been searching for that book for 50 years.
You know what? It's all tore apart, baby.
Oh, no.
Right there. But this is perfect, and you know, I could justify it because, you know, a stack of scrapbook paper would be $20. And this I can use for so many different projects. So that's what I did on the background of this vintage Valentine banner on the front, because I really wanted it to have a cool vintage look to it. Pretty much just cut out the hearts and dip the edges in glitter, and then I cut out the letters on my electronic cutting machine and dip those in glitter, and then there you go. And I just tied along a little stencil, and we're good to go.
One more quick
last one. Okay, this one's so fun. Okay, this is a cute, once again, goes with the vintage. It's a little Valentine cone that you can fill with candy. Brooke, does this give you a hint of what I made that out of?
Is that a Christmas tree?
It is a Christmas tree from the dollar store.
On sale now, probably for 80% off.
Exactly, so you can get it for like 20 cents. I just tipped it upside down. It was already red.
Cute.
So I just tipped it upside down, did a little vintage ruffle with the books, and so books make great embellishments for scrapbook paper too.
Great ideas. And once again, the template on your website, right?
Yes, templates on the website to download, and all of these projects have a pictured step-by-step tutorial.
Very fun. I'm making the wreath this weekend. I'm so excited. Go to our website to link to Christine's website, kmckaydesigns.com. Thanks so much, Christine.
Thank you.
Darling projects. Coming up next, a more